Issay Hosokawa stepped into the ring tonight with a calm intensity that belied the storm he was about to unleash. The crowd, buzzing with anticipation, sensed that something unforgettable was about to happen. From the first bell, Hosokawa's movement was sharp and deliberate, his footwork carving arcs around the canvas. Koki Akada, confident as ever, mirrored him with a grin that suggested he had his own surprises. The opening exchanges were a dance of feints and sudden flashes of power. Each jab from Hosokawa landed like a drumbeat, a signal of his rhythm. Akada answered with crisp counters, testing Hosokawa's guard and his patience. But there was something in Hosokawa's eyes, an unwavering focus that refused to blink. As the seconds passed, the tension tightened. The arena lights seemed to grow brighter, the cheers louder, as if the entire venue was holding its breath. Akada stepped forward, launching a combination aimed to break through the wall before him. Hosokawa slipped, pivoted, and returned fire with a left hook that grazed the chin. That brief contact was enough to change the atmosphere. The crowd gasped, sensing the tide turning. Akada shook his head, smiling as if to say, "Not yet." Hosokawa only nodded, his own silent answer delivered through the set of his shoulders. The next round began with a roar. Akada tried to reclaim momentum, throwing wide hooks meant to intimidate. Hosokawa stayed calm, weaving, stepping aside, watching every motion with clinical precision. Each movement looked effortless, as though he had already seen this fight in a dream. Then it happened. A single opening, a fraction of a second, appeared like a crack in stone. Hosokawa lunged forward, his right hand whipping through the air like lightning. The sound of the punch echoed, a sharp thwack that silenced the arena. Akada's body stiffened, his legs betraying him. He fell backward in slow motion, eyes open, staring at the ceiling lights as though counting them. The referee rushed in, but everyone already knew. The fight was over the moment Hosokawa's fist connected. The crowd erupted in a wave of disbelief and awe. Some stood frozen, others screamed Hosokawa's name, their voices blending into a single roar. Hosokawa raised his arms, his face still calm, a warrior who had simply done what he came to do. Akada lay flat on the canvas, chest rising and falling, eyes still locked on the bright arena lights. Medical staff entered, checking him with swift precision. Akada blinked, breathed deeply, and managed a faint grin. A microphone found its way to him as he sat up slowly. His voice, though quiet, carried through the stunned audience. "Please," Akada said, his words a mixture of defiance and admiration, "use me at the end of the year in RIZIN." The crowd roared again, this time in respect. Even in defeat, Akada showed the heart of a fighter unwilling to fade into silence. Hosokawa stepped forward, offering his hand, and Akada clasped it firmly. It was more than sportsmanship, it was a recognition between warriors. The cameras flashed, capturing the image of two fighters bound by a single night of combat. Hosokawa, still breathing steadily, leaned in and whispered something only Akada could hear. Whatever it was, Akada smiled wider, nodding. Commentators struggled to find the words. They replayed the knockout in slow motion, each frame a testament to precision and timing. Analysts pointed to Hosokawa's perfect angle, the torque of his hips, the inevitability of the strike. But no replay could fully capture the electricity of that moment. Outside the ring, fans chanted Hosokawa's name as if calling for a new hero. Some shouted Akada's name too, honoring the courage it took to stand and challenge. The arena became a chorus of respect for both men, proof that true fighting spirit never loses. Even in defeat, Akada had carved his place in the night's legend. Hosokawa's post-fight interview was measured. He thanked his team, his supporters, and even Akada for pushing him. "I trained for every possibility," he said, voice steady, but a fight always writes its own story. He spoke not as a man boasting of victory, but as one humbled by the craft. Reporters pressed him about what comes next. Would he take on another contender before the year's end? Would he accept a call from RIZIN himself? Hosokawa only smiled, refusing to give away more than a nod to the future. Meanwhile, Akada stood on shaky legs, cheered by fans who admired his resilience. He raised both hands, acknowledging the crowd, his grin now stronger than ever. "End of the year," he repeated to the cameras, voice ringing louder. "I'll be ready, count on it." As the arena slowly emptied, the story of the night settled into memory. A perfect strike, a warrior's heart, and the promise of battles yet to come. Hosokawa's name would headline the news, but Akada's words would echo just as loudly. Because a true fighter's spirit isn't measured only in victory. It's found in the willingness to rise after falling, to speak boldly even when the lights feel blinding, to promise another war when the body is still aching from the last. Tonight, both men showed that spirit in full. Fans spilled into the night, retelling the knockout again and again. Phones buzzed with replays, social media flooded with slow-motion clips. Every angle of Hosokawa's strike became a legend before sunrise. Every image of Akada staring at the ceiling carried its own quiet poetry. And somewhere, in the quiet of a locker room, Hosokawa wrapped his hands in fresh tape. He breathed deeply, replaying the moment in his mind, not as a boast but as a lesson. For fighters like him, victory is never the end, only another step forward. And for Akada, the path was equally clear. He would heal. He would train harder. He would return when the year turned cold, ready for RIZIN or any opponent willing to meet his challenge. Because that is what it means to live as a fighter. The night belonged to Issay Hosokawa. But the story belonged to both of them. A single punch had ended the fight, yet it opened a chapter that no one in that arena would soon forget.